Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to the City of Keys. Welcome back to A House of Many Doors is the name of this video game. I read the words City of Keys and my whole brain just shut off. You know, it happens. It happens to the best of us and also me sometimes. We did save and reload here, so we get to just like do some free stuff again, some things have refreshed. One of the pit's foremen ambles up to you. The screams are quiet today, he tells you, as though you hadn't noticed. He doesn't ask who you are or how you got through the dead zone. You care to see the latest find? Just pulled it from the depths this morning. Yes, of course. Of course I do. With a grin and a nudge and an offhandedly bigoted remark, he ushers you into the nearest warehouse. You are greeted by stacks upon stacks of wooden caskets, each only as long as your arm. Huh. The foreman opens the nearest coffin and places it on the table in front of you. Peering inside, you see the fossil ghost curled in the corner. It's little more than an ossified lump, vaguely human, but small, like a child or doll. Huh. This is what lights our streets, is it? I will purchase that. Hey, once upon a time, every child in the city was born with a key, right? You reckon there's a way to get a key out of this? If we buy the... I'm gonna offer to buy it. Well, a curious gentleman wouldn't sell under the table to a stranger. Why not come back a few times, and we'll see if I start to think of you as a friend. Okay, I can now return to the Howling Pits whenever I please. Let's examine this fossil ghost more closely. It is a small thing, expelled soul waste, a little ball of voided humanity. You feel something. I think at this point our character's really falling into sort of a morbid fascination kind of place. So... I can just go back... Can I go back there right now? Or it looks like maybe we need to leave town. We also need to cuddle our rhinoceros, obviously. Yeah, looks like maybe we need to leave town and come back before we can visit that whole situation again. That's strange. We did sell all of our news stuff already. Well, we can do our dwellings again. We can entertain a guest. We can work on our magnum opus. The number on our magnum opus is just getting lower and lower. You know, sometimes this happens when I write a thing. You decide that a certain element isn't working. Time to scrap that entire segment to begin anew. So, it's spending our portentous... Hold on. Which thing is it spending? I don't even have the option anymore. It's not spending our unique experience, but it's spending the other thing that we're doing. And unfortunately, we're getting further and further from done, which is just a thing that happens sometimes when you write, you know? You sit down to work and it seems to go backwards because you hate everything you did yesterday. Let's entertain a guest. We can invite Cromlech over. He's doing fine, right? He should be happy to see us. He raps on your door with his cane. Excellent to see you, SB, old thing. The hallway fills with the smell of cologne and fur. Do tell me you have something decent to drink. At the inn, they expect me not to be able to tell the difference between Fargyle whiskey and some brown concoction that was probably brewed in a bathtub. Imagine. He sits brooding in your armchair, vast and hairy, sipping whiskey with the delicacy of a highborn lady. You chat long into the night. He is, of course, a charming and daring conversationalist, and he clearly doesn't savor the prospect of returning to his cheap inn. Here's the thing. So far, we have only made romantic overtures to the undead, right? Oh no, there's that professor at the college. You know what? Our character is a dashing tiger man, and he's got time for everybody. You lean close to Cromlech and somehow spill your wine across his leg. Oh, clumsy. You're both drunk and both feeling unwise. You fetch napkins to clean him up. And as you press them against the spreading red stain on his leg, the smell of cologne is intoxicating. This seems like it might be going to kind of a graphic place. You look up into burning yellow eyes. You lay a hand on his chest and feel the pounding of his heart. One thing leads to another, of course, as these things do. That's a hell of a phrase. There's this real cultural attitude that we have that is evinced in the phrase "one thing leads to another." This idea that, well, nobody's to blame, right? No one was an actor here. Things just happened. When you wake up the next morning, sleepy and satiated, you roll over to find Cromlech is gone. Nobody ever stays for pancakes. For a moment, you fear that he has fled in embarrassment. But then you smell breakfast cooking in the kitchen. Cromlech's the perfect man. He makes the pancakes. He goes and he makes the pancakes. Cromlech returns with your favorite breakfast, cooked to perfection. Guess what it is? You expect to stay in bed for a while longer. Cromlech's my hero. Somebody's got to make the pancakes. Okay, now we can go to the Howling Pits. You know, it's been a day. Oh. You meet your you meet your contact in the outskirts of the Dead Zone. He is a slow and solemn man, which means you are surprised to see him sweat. They found something unusual, he tells you. Unusual and ancient, and, he hopes, valuable. Okay, so, it's not clear to me if that thing he said about needing to become trusted is a real game mechanic, or if the Howling Pits is already working as much as it's ever going to work. But if it is the case that we need to come back and become trusted before he'll offer us the cool stuff, then my suspicion is that buying stuff is how you gain the trust rather than just showing up. So I think if there is a thing to advance, we probably have to spend guineas to advance it. And then on top of that, have we ever had a primordial oddity before? This might be a thing that we've not... I want it. Give me that, please. Thank you very much. Can we just keep doing it? Oh, we can just keep doing it. He'll sell me a fossil ghost. So there's all kinds of stuff we've never seen before. I'm going to say not interested for right now. Will it let me keep... Yeah, lets me keep cycling it. So we can get fossil ghosts and primordial oddities as much as we want now, it looks like. And maybe also there'll be something more eventually. That's interesting. Let's go to the SB Museum of Curiosity. Can I contribute to these things? Yeah, I'm gonna put in a primordial oddity. What are your opinions of the museum so far? Exhibits are hideous, morbid, perhaps even haunting. That's a winner. Are we cool on inspection? Barely acceptable level of decency, so we gotta be a little cautious. I want to put in a, as you leave the museum, you are accosted by an old woman. She appears to be an occultist of some kind, judging by the candle wax spattered down her sleeves, the rune tattoos that dance across her gnarled hands, her mask of badly stitched leather. Your museum is invading my nightmares, she hisses. So many harbingers of madness and the occult gathered together in one place. Be careful, SB, or they will begin to conspire. She hurries away, the smog swallowing her in an instant. Oh, that's interesting. I mean, she's probably right. I should be careful. That seems dangerous. I guess we're good here for now. I'm gonna save, because, like, some important stuff happened there. And then... what was our plan? We were going north, right? We don't have access to an undreamt treasure yet, so we can't do this thing. And as such, there's probably not a lot of reason to go back to the Goat Stones. Oh, no, wait. Cromlech wants to go back to the Goat Stones, right? That's the step of his quest that we're on, I think. Here's what we'll do. We'll head up through the City of Angels to the Goat Stones to Panachak, because I don't think there's a ton of reason for us to stop at Chaga or Waste Disposal. I suppose we could, but the real goal is to end up over here at the Gunsmith, and then we can go other places and stuff. This is, I think, not a real thing. I think this is an error that was drawn on our map and has just never been undrawn. And my guess is we'll probably end up coming back through the City of Blades on the way back, so we don't need to hit it now. We'll have the news by the time it's time to have the news. Oh no, wait, Cromlech wants something, doesn't he? He wants... oh yeah, he wants a whole bunch of stuff. Also, sorry. Dead? Who did we lose? Oh, right. We did, in fact, have an incident with Char, didn't we? I thought Char was unwounded or something. Something happened, right? I don't know what's going on. Oh, shoot. I forget. I didn't even occur to me. Listen, video games that have quote-unquote romance options almost never actually remember that, like, people have feelings about this kind of stuff. So it didn't even occur to me that Cromlech and Genevieve might have a problem with each... I mean, Cromlech probably knows about Genevieve, right? Because I don't think we've been terribly subtle on the train. But yeah, I can see there being issues in the other direction. I've heard word that you are cheating on me with another member of the crew, snaps Genevieve, striding into your quarters. How long have you been hiding this from me? How long? I cannot believe I trusted you. From now on, I think best to keep our relationship strictly professional. Listen, Genevieve is more my type, personally, but she doesn't make the pancakes. Or maybe we could just... Is our character the kind of guy who's going to two-time his partners? Listen, I'm not necessarily opposed to just having multiple partners, but I don't think he wants to lie about it. I'm going to accept that my romance with Genevieve is over. Cromlech, you know, Facebook, that internet meme image. Genevieve thing over. Cromlech is best friend now. You've all seen it. You know what I'm referencing. Lazily. With as little effort as I possibly can. So we have a ton of cargo space now. We have a very large and impressive train. And it's quite fast. We do need to, we do still need to pick up that golem cannon, but honestly, I'm feeling like if we can do that and we can start saving up for the big hull gain. There's that 6,500 guinea hull, or maybe the deformed scab matter thing that we had an option to do. That was a hull increase, right? Maybe we just try to do that. It said it was going to take 7. I don't think we're anywhere near 7 deformed scab matter. Let us attempt to gather news. Hey, we did it. And then obviously we will recover our sanity very easily. We'll wander the streets, grab for a fancy book, an obscene booklet. That's a shame. And then we should probably advertise for a new crew member, huh? I really thought Char was basically fine, but... So contact an old friend. Who's this gonna offer us? Rutherford? Rutherford's not the problem I'm having. Rutherford's not an answer to any problem I'm having. Let's bribe a vicar. Delgado. I guess we should pick up a swabby. I'm gonna try one more time. Damn it. I don't want to replace my chief engineer. Do they only have chief engineers here? Wow. Yeah, they really, really want us to replace our chief engineer. I just want to pick up a person for the empty slot on my train. My stats, man. My stats. One more time. Nope. Just so many engineers. There's so many different engineers. Alright, none of these candidates are suitable. I'm out of here. This town sucks. We have 1 million fuel. Yeah, I think we're good. Let's just leave. North to the Goatstones. So what is the name of the job? It doesn't actually even say. Alright, train is very unwieldy now. The good news is I seem to be able to slam the back cars against stuff without actually damaging hull integrity. Where is... Hey, I didn't get jump scared. That's progress. Alright, so we gotta go north and east a little bit. It does feel like the train's quite a bit faster. Like, I'm really noticing the difference. And honestly, it's really nice. So there was another upgrade that we could buy. It was like 4,400 guineas. I suppose that's a thing, too. But the point I was making with the hull and the golem launcher and stuff is that I'm feeling like we're getting kind of close to the top end of the train thing. I can at least tell what our train is going to look like when we sort of top out. I don't know how many cars I'm allowed to buy. I was about to say, it's hard for me to imagine that we're going to fill up the 150 units of cargo space we have now, but I would have said that as well when we bought the second cargo car, so... My ability to hoard random garbage is second to none. I really shouldn't underestimate myself this way. And we still have no idea what some of the classes of enemies are like. Like, I don't know what it's like to fight these flying rocks in this area, or the spooky ice crystal things. Yep, give me some free fuel. So wait, why am I going to the Goatstones? If it turns out Cromlech doesn't even need to go there, what do I think I'm going to accomplish by being at the Goatstones? I mean, I don't know. We're already here. We may as well enter, but... Very, very hard to drive the train when it is this long. We could try to steal a stone. Yeah. Well, Eddie Gummidge was killed. Alright, listen. I don't need below-deck crew. I'm going to go and cuddle my rhinoceros real quick. Just make things a little easier on myself. And then I guess we'll just bail. I think we got out of this what we need to get out of this. So, I mean, do we want to... I suppose it's not that out of our way to swing through Chaga and Waste Disposal on our way over to Panachek, and then, you know, swing through like that. Yeah, let's go ahead and do it. So I need to go north 4, west, like, 10-ish? We'll just do a diagonal for a minute here. Look at that. Look at the professionalism. I really appreciate, though, despite the fact that it's like directly in contradiction with the text, the text was very bad and unclear on the whole Char situation, right? Where it was like Char got shot and is horribly wounded, but is unwounded now and is badly maimed, but not dead, but actually dead. You know, the whole thing is bad. They need to be clearer. But I appreciate that you can have crew stories end in a permanent way like that. Like the thing with, I can't even remember her name now, but the young woman who we shot in the alley. I like the fact that can just be an end to that story. Video games are so cowardly when it comes to narrative. You know? And I think, to be fair, I think that's only partially the developer's fault. It's also the fault of the fact that there are a lot of video game players who will throw an absolute goddamn tantrum fit if anything in a game is missable. People have thoughts about game narrative that are so incredibly unreasonable and counterproductive, and they don't ever seem to realize that they're being unreasonable and counterproductive. I mean, I guess people who are being unreasonable don't realize it, because if a person thought they were being unreasonable, they would change, right? But it's just, man, I try not to get into the popular discourse. I try not to be like, hey, people who are talking about new game thing, you're dumb and wrong and bad, and you should do a better and different. But sometimes a thing happened like earlier this week or maybe late last week that had me a man on the internet compared a video game to a movie. Some of you already know what I'm talking about. A man on the internet compared a video game to one movie instead of to another movie. Said, oh, it's unlike this thing all other video games are like, and instead it's like this other movie, and the noise that came out of me when I read it was truly horrifying. Alright, let's explore Chaga real quick. Hey, we got a primordial oddity. A mass of tentacles and teeth fossilized in amber. Can never have enough of those on board. Can I please play with my dog? Awesome. Okay, that's Chaga. That's all we're gonna get done here. And a big part of the problem that we have with game narrative, first of all, is people who are obsessed with this idea of, like, prestige. There's a certain kind of movie that gets made explicitly for to win awards, right? Oscar bait. When I say Oscar bait, you all kind of know what I'm talking about. I always think of, like, my archetypal example is, although it is truly typical, is The Imitation Game, which is a movie that nobody seems to like very much. Everybody seems to agree was basically fine, although it has some deeply problematic elements, but like reasonably well executed. It's not like a garbage film, but nobody likes it. Nobody's like, oh my god, you must see The Imitation Game. It's my favorite film. But when it came out, like just watching the very first trailer I saw, I was like, oh, well, this is going to get nominated for a bunch of awards. Because the Academy responds to certain... And it's not just the Academy, but like the Academy and people's idea of what a quote-unquote good movie is responds to certain aesthetic qualities more than they respond to anything that's actually of the movie itself. This has the shape and form and color of an important movie. So it will be treated as an important movie, despite the fact that nobody thinks that this movie is important. You know what I mean? And we have a lot of that in video games as well, in particularly in the console space. I'm getting very off the topic. Let's search let's scavenge some stuff from waste disposal. What do we got here? You order your crew to pick through the endless mounds of discarded things. Bottles, plastics, leaking barrels. They clip pegs over their noses and heave it all aside in search of trash-buried treasure. Finally, Eddie Harrison finds something. Isn't he dead? A crumpled newspaper from another world. Government announces flawless new scheme for ridding planet of pollution and nuclear waste, declares the headline. The rest of the pages are filled with stories of war and murder. Alright, a little on the nose, but hey, at least they did figure it out. And flawless, as always, is sort of a relative idea. It has no flaws for us personally. Alright, to the east. But yeah, we very much have this idea in video games of like these are the things you have to pay attention to, but not because there's anything about them that is worth your attention, and like not just because they're big because they're big, not because anybody has. It's frustrating. It's just frustrating to me. I wish that people were more thoughtful. Some guys from Eldabrathat want to do a thing. Well, we could fight them and almost certainly win. And we're close to a place where repairs are pretty cheap, right? Yeah, screw them. Let's kill the whole lot of them. Do we have 4 guards right now? 1, 2, 3... Oh, it looks like maybe just 3 and Ashen. Ashen's worth 10, though. Their train is covered in guns. This is going to be really bad, actually. Well, we could solve this problem with just shooting, I suppose. But that's going to make this, like, very not worth it, right? You know what? I think I'm just going to flee. Wow, look how fast we are. So wait, is it just going to be the case that I can flee from all combats now? Because it looks like our legs may actually have increased the distance that we move when we issue move commands in combat. And so, like, even if we were to fail the runaway rolls during the pre-combat event, it looks like we can just get to escape range in 3 moves and then leave the fight during the first turn. Maybe there are some enemies that you can't escape from in that way, but that seems... Huh. If you want to hear somebody who's made a tighter and more, boy, I don't like those at all. If you want to hear someone make a sort of a tighter version of this argument that is more specifically focused on the aesthetics of the game rather than the whole of the games themselves, there's a really great Jacob Geller video called Bad Graphics. I feel like I've recommended a bunch of Jacob Geller videos in videos recently, but like they're good. He does good work. The man does fine work. All right, so the corpses. I mean, we've already examined the corpses before, so do we need to, like, are we going to get anything out of examining them again? It's the exact same deal. Okay, disquieting incident. I mean, it doesn't lower our sanity or anything. I guess there's no reason not to do it. The villagers of Panachek slip away whenever you approach them. You wonder how much actually happens here. You manage to corner a townsperson who gabbles a dozen greetings to you in a dozen languages. It's same text. Mavorite Feverbeard declared contestants winners. Tax collector. Wow. In a tragic accident, the latest tax collector from the Empire was found sewn inside a sack and drowned in crude oil. A tragic accident. We do know about the sculpture competition. We just go back to... Oh, hold on. Not head back. Village competition. Yeah. We do a test of graft. We do the exact same thing as we did last time. We get the Panachak familiarity. This whole place is very strange. I didn't mean to try to delve. I wanted to enter a different thing, and I clicked delve accidentally, and then immediately clicked, no wait, go back, don't delve yet, assuming that it would let me go back and attempt to delve. Why would it spend our opportunity? We didn't actually do anything. But apparently just entering the place does spend your opportunity. Oh well, I guess we'll finish delving in the oil rig later? That's a little bit of a shame, though. My Petachek's not that far from the cities. It's like, it's not super hard to get back here. Looks like we can just head directly east. An obscene booklet. Great. I just wish that, in general, I think that the games industry, specifically, and honestly maybe all of our culture in general, would be way better off if we were less obsessed with the signifiers of things and more interested in the things themselves. That's true in a whole bunch of dimensions. Alright, I was kind of hoping that entering the cottage we would find a guy, because we're a little, we're not maxed out on the below deck crew. We could really use another guard. The combat style that seems to be valuable is very much aided by having 4 guards. So I'm assuming with the golem launcher that you get to aim the golem. Hold on, you. Nope. Nope. Train don't turn the way I wanted it to. Well, never mind. We'll never get to interact with that guy. Yeah, I'm assuming you get to aim the golem launcher the same way you get to aim any of the other guns, so that'll be a really nice thing for our combat style, being able to drop a combatant directly on top of the enemy gunners. Stone tablet, sure. I love a tablet. A haunted wagon. Let's attack it. No words on the radio, not even laughter, but guns poke from its sides. It's just a car? Yeah. Well, I guess we just shoot it. Seems like going over there is probably not going to be terribly effective. And I mean, we may as well try to destroy a gun if we can. It's not aiming. Why can I not fire this? Oh, there's no one in that weapons bay. Well, why is that the case? Also, where's my other gunner? Don't we have 4 gunners? Weren't we just looking at the thing? Can a junior engineer fire a gun? We've never actually tried to fire a weapon with a non-gunner in the weapons bay before, so I don't actually know if it works. Okay, so no, it doesn't. We're being told that there is no one in the weapons bay. So when it fails to load one of my gunners, I don't know what we're supposed to do about that. Well, maybe just engineers can. Maybe SB can. SB's got skills. He's a captain. That's what people are always saying. SB has all these skills. Oh, hey, that's pretty weird. That truck is laughing at me. Okay. See, now the gun says primed. Okay, so the captain can fire a gun, but a junior engineer cannot. And it's not due to the position in the room he was in, because this gunner is all the way over against the door, and that's... Did we really fail to get the kill? How? How did that many weapons miss? That's incredibly annoying. Alright, just please finish the damn job. Sanity, smiling. You know, just happy. Just feeling real happy. So haunted trucks do a tremendous amount of damage to your sanity. We know that. Your artillery smashes the circus wagon into shrapnel. You've won. You live to fight again. You find nothing inside. No money, no valuables, not even corpses. Who was driving this thing? And then we turned around and we went back. Because we don't know if we'll be able to restore sanity there, but we do know we can restore sanity back home. And I think that it would be a good idea to do... Oh, good, the notes. That's real good and creepy. Oh, this is fun. Hold on, I want to... Okay, funny men. Troops from Harlequin, rattling along in their ridiculous purple wagon. You hear faint laughter and parping horns. Parping. You've heard rumors of what was done to them in the grotesquerie to make them into these giggling fools. A cocktail of ravaging drugs. A pin stuck through the brain. They're happy to swap maps with you in exchange for a tall tale of adventure and daring-do. They pull up alongside and listen with bated breath as you relay your stirring tale. Something called the Mycena Free State is marked on their map, and you dutifully copy it over. A mutually beneficial arrangement. And then I ask them to tell me a joke, because I just can't stop smiling. I love humor. What does a fool sound like as they die? Oh, well. Alright then. Here's the thing about that. I'm leaving. I do not have any interest in this combat. Goodbye. You fools. Oh, see, it does say you've passed a Guile challenge on the getaway screen, so maybe the escape thing does have a die roll behind it. And you can't just get away for free. Boy, do I not have the time for you right now. This would be a great time for some notes to pop up. Because they seemed very creepy when we saw them before. Sanity's fine. I feel fine. Did you guys all feel fine? My cheeks hurt from how fine I feel. I like this. I like this very much. I wish that it was, I wish that it wasn't so easy to manage your sanity, frankly. Because I think this is really interesting, and the fact that we've only gotten into the state like once or twice over, what is it, 20 hours of gameplay at this point? It's a little bit of a bummer. Why does the cool content have to be put where nobody ever gets to see it? I shouldn't say it like that. That makes it sound like I think the rest of the content isn't as cool. But the content in this game is great, by and large. Alright, so we're just gonna sleep for a couple of weeks here at Panachak until my brain feels okay again, until there's no more crawling feeling. Alright, we did it. We survived. I'm gonna play with my rhinoceros. Okay, now, away and to the east. Oh, shoot, I didn't... Hold on. Can we get our train repaired here? I thought I remembered that they could repair the thing quickly, but it looks like there isn't actually a repair option. So... oh well. No such luck. To the east. Well, we just gotta avoid combat for a while, that's all. Oh, where's the Mycena Free State? Just south. Interesting. Densely populated area around here. Well, let's go check it out. Anyway, the big conclusion of all my video game and film rant nonsense is play fewer AAA games. Just probably the people who are 20 episodes deep into a House of Many Doors series don't need to hear this. An obsidian statue of a grimacing goddess. You know what? I smash it. You may now propitiate Cobblestone for a divine favor. Cobblestone loves it when you smash things. Yeah, just play more weird stuff. Play fewer things that everybody agrees are a big deal, and play more things that are secretly a big deal. The doorway here is surrounded by barbed wire and mounted machine guns. A bored-looking patchwork man is sitting in a booth, and your entrance makes his heavy-lidded eyes momentarily widen. Papers? He grunts. He seems to be part rhinoceros and part walrus. Lots of horns and tusks and blubber. I will bribe him, because I do not have reputation here. The floor is bristling with fibrous stumps where giant toadstools once stood. Only a few clusters of the fungi remain intact. A half-finished statue looms above all, most of its features hidden behind layers of scaffolding. A beak-faced woman with compound eyes is standing suddenly at your shoulder. "My name is Tremelia," she says sweetly, "and I will be your guide for the duration of this visit. Welcome to the Mycena Free State, home of the Chimeric Empire's Mycenae population." Yeah, hey, what's going on around here? Your face is reflected 1,000,000 times in her bulging eyes. "The statue's construction has not been delayed at all," says Tremelia. "There have been very few worker deaths," she says. "Hardly any at all, really." Well, yeah. That's extremely believable, is the thing. What does it take to propitiate Cobblestone? A blood-soaked monolith, a sanctioned scripture, trypanic fluid, I don't know where to get that. But lumber, salt, monoliths, those are things we can acquire easily. Interesting. Cobblestone demands blood, your blood, and sweat. You must debase yourself, scourge yourself, bleed and toil, push yourself to the shrieking limit of your endurance, and then push further. Cobblestone will save you from death. Perhaps. The hardest part is to be thankful. You must not regret, even for a moment. Maybe not. It doesn't really sound like... it doesn't really sound like me. Well, let's allow Tremelia to guide us, I suppose. There are wonderful things for you to see here, she trills. Tremelia shows you all the wonderful ways we keep Mycenae happy and safe. You traipse with her past the stumps of felled mushrooms to a typical Mycena household built of brick and mortar. The Mycenae inside seem perfectly content, if a little quiet. They have scars on their backs. She then shows you, at a distance, the line of happy workers on their way to a productive day toiling on the statue of their leader and liberator. She hurries you away when one of the distant figures falls over and a patchwork soldier starts whipping it. Shall we continue the tour? She asks brightly. Next up, the butter farms. I am curious about the butter farms. I know the deal here, this is very Brabazon Workworld, right? But I do actually want to finish the tour. All our butter is ethically sourced from willing Mycenae donors, says Tremelia cheerily. She takes you to a warehouse filled with jars of a strange yellowy-brown paste. You recognize it suddenly. A street drug. Witch's butter. It's harvested from Mycenae brainstems, and can only be taken from a corpse. It's the Emperor's favorite, says Tremelia. Witch's butter is a natural pick-me-up and remedy. Can I interest you in a free sample before you leave? Yeah, I mean, it's not like they're going to scrape it fresh. They're not going to go kill somebody to get me butter. This butter already exists. I'm going to take it. Excellent. Tremelia hands you a jar. Just a dab of this on the tongue will have you bouncing off the walls and seeing things that aren't even there. I do not need any help with that. I'm going to attempt to preach the word of Angle Crab, and this is maybe not going to go that well for us. My guess is Tremelia is not going to like this that much. You open Angle Crab's Sacred Instruction Manual, etc. Tremelia vanishes. The Mycenae ignore you. They're not allowed to gather in groups larger than 3, and they have learned that listening to rhetoric only gets them in trouble. Then Tremelia returns with 3 patchwork soldiers, who begin to escort you roughly from the worksite. Okay, yeah, that's pretty much... Honestly, that's a lot less bad than I thought it was going to be. I thought we might get in some real trouble. I'm not interested in paying 40 guineas for more sanity. So... State-approved goods. Fuel at a reasonable price. They'll buy other stuff. Honestly, I'll sell that monolith. We can always get more monoliths. That's easy. I mean, you know, sometimes there are costs. Okay, the Mycenae Free State is an interesting little place, no doubt with lots of interesting story. And apparently we got right next to a spot called Harlequin, and I didn't even notice. I was too busy smiling. You know, you ever smile so wide that it just pushes all the thoughts right out of your brain? There's no room in there for anything except the smile. So that haunted truck was definitely a weird thing. That's a weird thing that happened, right? Everybody agrees that that was weird? Just want to make sure I'm not alone on this. Oh, that's a big rock, is what that is. I do not like the way the train moves when we are backing up, both in the sense that it doesn't do the intuitive thing. Like, when you hold back and right, it doesn't continue the rightward curve. But also, it looks like an injured bug, and it creeps me out. They've done a good job on that. Right, enter the cottage. Here we go. I need a new guard, please. So how much further north do we need to go? One more space? All right. We'll hit the diagonal here. Well, we'll stop and check out this monolith first. This is the first time we've seen an interactable obelisk, right? A standing stone from another world. Runes have been carved deeply into the granite. Grueling work, though they look as spontaneous as knife slashes. The entire obelisk streaked in something dried brown-red. Probably blood. It's usually it's blood. Interesting. You can sacrifice prisoners to the stone. I'm gonna just read the runes. The runes tell a story of loss and grief, a world destroyed, devoured, an ancient happiness that has been entirely forgotten and will never return. A profound unease settles onto you. You know, just like normal. It's basically your normal level of profound unease. Okay, Harlequin. Hey, we know a thing or two about this. We've heard some suggestions at this point. A desperate bureaucrat with a tattooed white face greets you at the station. He is backed by a couple of looming thugs, their faces split by unnatural grins that reach below their ears. The thugs are holding slapsticks, heavy truncheons topped with outstretched rubber hands. Oh, you know, slapsticks. Can I see your papers, please? Asked the little man. No entry without papers. One of the grinning thugs cracks him across the head with his slapstick. The bureaucrat wheezes, then begins to caper and dance. He repeats his question in a sing-song falsetto, blood blossoming on cracked, pale skin. So the bribe seems tough, but we do have some droll recollections. Can you make us laugh? The guard asks you. We have fun here. Oh, we have fun here. A city of fools and jesters, but nothing about Harlequin is amusing. Most of the citizens live outside the city walls in vast tent slums, ragged and bright and teeming with disease. Well, I would like to repair my hull. No description or anything related to that, that's fine. Let's gather some news. The tannoys, of course, are useless for anything but propaganda and punning. You'll need to speak to the beggars, who won't be willing to talk for free. Another season of spectacles and games announced at the Painted Queen's Pasquinade Palace. Humorists have been accused of kidnapping innocent citizens for grotesquerie experiments. The Ragged Emperor has ordered a Harlequin curfew, though this is largely ignored. Harlequin reeks of desperation. Well, I'm going to start with a quick little bit of pet playtime. Very useful pets. I suppose let's have an audience with the Painted Queen. The Pasquinade Palace is hosting one of its games. You may petition the Queen if you wish, but try not to bore her. It does seem like there's a pretty small number of total types of things to do in the towns in this game. There's a lot of places where it's participate in the local games that are going on. The Pasquinade Palace is a rippling circus tent, enormous and colorful. White-faced citizens crowd the stands. Grinning guards patrol the perimeter with slapsticks, giving a solid whack to anyone not laughing. The Painted Queen sits above all on a high chair, sweeping the crowd with heavy-lidded eyes. Occasionally she will crack a smile, revealing filed teeth. The headline act of today's games is an execution. A political dissident is marched out before a firing squad, and the crowd hushes. He is shaking, sniveling, dark streaks on his white cheeks. The soldiers raise their rifles. And flowers burst from the barrels. The condemned sobs with relief. He is led away unharmed, amid laughter from the crowd. When the show is over, the Queen calls for petitioners to come forward. And obviously there's a suggestion here that you be careful what you petition. I would like to just watch this unfold. Good idea to lurk at first. Someone thanks the Queen for all her good works. It's not much of a petition, but it earns applause from the crowd. Someone asks that she hold further, grander games. A third demands that she ease the poverty and starvation in the tent slums. He is dragged away by grinning guards. Once it's over, the Queen yawns. A group of enormous, grotesquerie-altered mutants bear her backstage in a palanquin. In her absence, the crowd's laughter dies instantly. Someone sobs. The pale-faced masses shuffle from the tent. They are utterly silent. Most of all, they seem tired. It seems to me that it would be a good idea for us to try to, talk to some people, just have some chats with some people with the Queen and the guards not around. It's remarkable how much we don't really have that option here, huh? Violence in the tent slums. You hear gunfire and screams that could be laughter. Well, of course, let's go toward that. The center of Harlequin is a perpetual pageant of honking and revelry. Further from the Pasquinade Palace, though, the streets are darker and quieter, and the tents are black with filth. Chanting, stamping, gunshots. A ragged mob are marching through the slums, singing protest songs and setting fire to tents. It seems like they have lots of reasons to protest, but I also feel a little nervous, interposing myself in the politics of the place without really any idea what's going on. And, this could be a kind of thing where, these are agents of the Queen, and if you join them, you get arrested. It could be a false flag. Hold on, let's just watch from a distance for a moment. A quarter mile down the street, the protesters are met by a wall of grinning guards. Slapsticks thud against screaming flesh. You watch from a distance until the screams and smoke prove too much to bear. The protest fizzles out as 100 have before it. So probably not a great idea to participate. Well, I mean, the only way they're ever going to succeed is more people participating. Alright, I'm going to attempt to rest and recover. This is a test of spirit, and our spirit's quite high, but we still only have even odds on this, huh? A dreary clown assaults you with a balloon. A juggler pursues you on stilts, begging for a smile. Harlequin is a hellscape of dead-eyed humor, and there is nothing worse than being forced to have fun. You manage to spend a little time with your crew at a refuge in the tent slums, where patrons drink and doze in silence. A few quiet moments snatched from the laughter outside. Our sanity recovered slightly. Okay, yeah, that was pretty slightly. I'm kind of curious what happens. Okay, I wanted to keep trying until a failure. Same deal. Perhaps Harlequin holds no real joy no matter how intently you search, but it's basically the same description. Oh wow, you lose a lot of sanity when you fail, though. Okay, we know about this now. So we could sell biological anomalies, primordial oddities. They really like scab matter here. And they sell laudanum and gallows candles and nothing useful. Well, we could sell our primordial oddities, I suppose, but I don't know. I'm okay holding on to them. Let's just leave. It's not a terribly interesting place, to be perfectly honest with you. It feels like they haven't really... Because it's one of these sort of, like, underdeveloped, like, mid-developed areas, not like, say, the City of Keys or anything, it doesn't really feel like they've committed very hard to the concept, which is a shame, because it's a very rich idea, although I suppose also, at this point, sort of well-trod, spooky carnival stuff. But I like spooky carnival stuff, I guess is where I was going with that, and I wish that there was more to it. Chimera is nearby, is it now? Okay. We can do that after we visit our gunsmith. There really are a lot of settlements very close together up here. I'm trying to think, have we heard anything of Chimera? It may well be the case that we are, that we know nothing about the place we're about to go to. I feel like that happens a lot up here, despite the fact that we've been so many places and heard so many things. Buzzard's Omen. I like it. You know, I'm a sucker for a neon light. A sticky-floored town built of brick and neon and asbestos. There's a cold damp to the air that sticks in your lungs. That's probably the asbestos. There's a patchwork guard at the station, but he waves you along without checking your papers. Everywhere you look, you see the ragged emperor's face, staring down from billboards and posters and statues. Let's start by gathering news. Buzzard's Omen has exactly one newspaper, which offers only obscene pictures and propaganda. You'll have to trawl the bars. Murders and debauchery and half-hearted foretellings of doom. The news in Buzzard's Omen is always lurid and shallow. I don't know why I'm all of a sudden having so much trouble with words. Neon-soaked doomsayers, the lot of them. Let's just wander around a bit. Every building is screaming for your attention, yet everyone looks the same as the last. Boy, that connects to the thing we were talking about earlier, huh? You wander down the crooked alleyways of the Omen, neon signs flickering and hissing above your head. The most run-down signs are advertising fortune tellers. The Scry Guy, Simply Divine, Veils and Entrails, Invest in Futures, that's a clever one, etc. The larger, better-lit establishments are mostly bars or casinos. Yeah, sure, we got a lot of money, I could visit a casino. I know how to cheat at cards. The casino is full of blinking lights and clanging bells and tired people throwing chips onto tables with all the enthusiasm of an accountant filing paperwork. Hey, some accountants really like filing paperwork, that's why they become accountants. One of the roulette tables is free. As you approach it, you notice that a bedraggled old man has followed you inside the casino from the street outside. He grins up at you hopefully, revealing a crowded set of yellow teeth. "I'm a fortune teller," he whispers, handing you a business card. "We're banned from casinos, so keep quiet about it. Listen, you need to bet on red, all right? I saw it in a dancing of candle smoke." I'm gonna have a look at this business card he just handed me. It seems to have been handwritten and wonkily cut from a larger piece of card. The Magnificent Leonard, reads the card. Fortune teller, dreamwalker, seer and visionary. Proprietor of Cards and Nards, the best store in town. Motto, yes, we sell novelty penises. Okay, well that answers the question that I was about to ask. So he says we should bet on red. You know what? You know what, my dude? I'm going to bet mid on red. No, we're going to go big. We're going to go big on red. I am showing Leonard. This is a show of support right here, more than me believing that we actually will win any money. Red it is, announces the concierge, sweeping your chips toward you. The fortune teller whoops with delight. Well, you've got to give me half, mate, pleads the fortune teller. A quarter, at least. Come on, I helped you win, didn't I? It's interesting that it says gained 200 guineas, because we put down 200, didn't we? We were supposed to win 400? You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and give him half. He was right. I come out even, he comes out ahead, I'm fine with it. Thank you, says the fortune teller, piling your coins into the pockets of his robes. He glances around guiltily. I'd better get out of here before casino management sees me. Return to the kinetopede. The Magnificent Leonard is already scuttling away, jingling with every step. So we gained 300 guineas there. So he only took half of our actual gains rather than half of our total return. That was nice of him. I was expecting him to take the whole 200 that we had won, which I would have been fine with. Let's try preaching the word of Anglecrab. Cranks, visionaries, and preachers are a prime source of entertainment here. You'll blend in very well. Your audience faces are lost in the smoke of cheap cigarettes. There is laughter and a few jokes at your expense, nothing too mean-spirited, but they do not take you seriously. That's fine. Listen, Anglecrab doesn't need you. Alright, I think it's time to do what we actually came here to do. Let's visit the gunsmith. Vagabond Alley is a narrow, grime-spattered passage, aglow in an ocean of neon. To one side of the gunsmith's, a fizzling sign advertises XXX picks. On the other, sparkling filaments tout bargain fates. The gunsmith's itself is a crooked little place, dark and unadorned. Well, I didn't come here just to leave. We knock. 3 hollow thuds. An old man opens the door, aged in the same way a tree or a strip of leather ages. His face is all popping eyes and bristling iron beard. Oh, customers, is it? He retreats back into the darkness, muttering, and lights a gas lamp. Gleams chase each other across the countless racks of weaponry. Ashen takes a rifle from the wall and admires it cautiously. What do you want? Asks the gunsmith. I want to make 2 coins into a bullet. I don't think we need to lay on the whole thing just yet. The gunsmith takes the coins from you and examines them. A golden bullet, is it? Oh, it'll be heavy. The aerodynamics will be difficult. He flips one of them into the air and catches it between gnarled fingers. But a bit of metalsmithing isn't why you came all this way. Who is this bullet meant for? His name is G, says Ashen. G, is it? The gunsmith shakes his head. Not a true name. Sounds more like an affectation. No good for my purpose. Wait, why do you need his real name? I work with ballistics and probabilistics, says the gunsmith. I teach a bullet where it wants to go. All it needs is a true name to direct it. It wants to kill somebody, you see, that's its purpose, but it doesn't know who. So 7,000 times I carve a name on the bullet, in writing so small your eye won't see it, and while I'm carving I sing the name 1,000 times, and whisper it 1,000 times, and wrap the bullet in gin-soaked paper on which I've written the name 1,000 times more. After that, the bullet knows its nemesis. As long as a strike is possible, the bullet will find its enemy's heart. Huh. How'd you learn that? Well, on my old world, everyone knew it, says the gunsmith. It's just a matter of eliminating all the wrong futures. But you need their real name. Aye. I know G's real name, says Ashen, placing the rifle back on the wall. She leans into the gunsmith's ear and whispers. The gunsmith nods. Yeah, I can teach your gold bullet this name, but of course my services do not come freely. 1 bullet will cost you 500 guineas. Well, that's not so bad. When you consider, the number of guineas per name, that's actually a pretty good price. The gunsmith takes your money without thanks. Come back in a week, he tells you, and the bullet will be ready. Okay, wait in town. Why even make it a week? It's like there's this concept of time passing that only seems to be kind of loosely related to anything that's happening in the game. I don't know, it's weird. A week in Buzzard's Omen gives you plenty of time to familiarize yourself with the place. Every night rings out with shouting, gunshots, drunken laughter. Every morning, more wine-soaked bodies are pulled from the gutters. When you return to the gunsmith, he is pale, and his hair a touch whiter than you remember. I don't know what those coins were, he says darkly, handing you your shining bullet, but I don't ever want to see them in my shop again. I sang to the metal, and the metal sang back. Ashen's face is distilled triumph. G awaits us in the City of Bridges, she says softly. We should bring a gun, a mirror, and knives. Don't try to tell me you don't already have a gun and many knives on you. We're basically done. So, that was interesting. We were supposed to get a whole bunch of stuff done here all at once because this is where the next step of Char's quest was, right? But then Char is mysteriously dead despite not having died during the event, so I don't know exactly what to make of that. Here, we'll sell our obscene booklets. I certainly don't need these. Didn't see these bargains coming. Supplies for the modern diviner. The neon sign sizzles and smells faintly of smoke. Ghost dice. Oh, I'll sell you my garbage occultist paraphernalia. Don't really know what ghost dice do. Alright, I think that's pretty much all we have to do here. Yeah. So do we have a plan now? This is kind of like the important part of the thing, right? North is nothing but locked doors, so we've hit the top end of the house, basically. We could just swing back through the archives of Tank and then back home. We do have a passenger who needs to go to Failbetter Quinn. We don't have the money to buy a golem cannon, but I mean, we should go to Failbetter Quinn at the very least. So I guess let's swing through Chimer on the way out. East to the Ragged Emperor's Nest. Is Chimer where the Emperor lives, maybe? I mean, he's got to live somewhere. No, that's not true. There are lots of things in the house that don't have to live somewhere. And I've already forgotten what the path looked like. Okay. It's remarkable how little distance it takes for me to forget. Patchwork soldiers meet you at the station, grim-faced, well, the ones that have faces. Out, squawks a man who's mostly parrot. Mandatory stop and search. The patchwork guards find nothing, and they don't seem pleased. An ancient maze of weaving stone walls and copper statues and ziggurats. Great bronze bells toll the hour, every hour. Deep in the center of the labyrinth city, the Ragged Emperor rules from a sprawling complex of gardens and mansions. The Emperor does not, in fact, wish to send us on a secret mission. We would need 10 reputation. I don't know if we have any. Let's start by gathering news, as we usually do. The latest trepanning was completed without major incident. Another ziggurat has gone missing. The Ragged Emperor has issued a blanket pardon, releasing all criminals and political prisoners from the entombment. Okay, that doesn't seem so bad. I guess let's go and meet with this Ragged Emperor. Hold on, can I interact with my pets? Yeah, let's play with the dog. Okay. Yeah, let's go meet with this Emperor, if we can. Patchwork soldiers guard the doors of the palace, but they let you pass without bothering to check your credentials. Perhaps you can compete for the Emperor's favor. It does seem like there are good reasons to have the Emperor's favor. As you walk through the court, you are surrounded by opulence. Marble statues, clear blue fountains, glittering lights. A butler serves drinks from the hollowed skeleton of a dragon. The spectacle is marred only by the patchwork nobility themselves. A narwhal-headed man is in a bellowing argument with a six-limbed deer woman over whether a baron outranks a duchess. A crab-shaped earl scuttles past, snatching a canapé from your hands and gobbling it down without gratitude. The Emperor is nowhere to be seen. Well, that'll never do. Let's go find him. You eventually discover the Ragged Emperor in the kitchens, instructing a terrified chef to add ever more bizarre ingredients to his stew. Flattery? Forthrightness, discuss military affairs, tell a joke. He probably gets a lot of flattery. We're not going to stand out that way. We definitely know some things about... We have some thrilling yarns and stuff. We could tell some military stories. I don't know if our character is particularly funny. I'm going to try military affairs. Nope, that's no good. The Emperor stares at you with hollow-eyed irritation. Who are you? He snaps. Get out of my sight. Well, on the bright side, you doubt the Emperor will remember this tomorrow, but his courtiers will, despite the fact none of them were present. Alright, let's just try to explore the city. It seems like we're not going to be well-liked here. Keimer fights bitterly against the patchwork men who currently occupy it, but it seems to tolerate your presence. You have to duck a swinging blade and leap over a surprising pit of spikes, but otherwise you are allowed to meander in peace. The stone faces in the walls mutter at you as you pass. They offer to tell you what they know, in exchange for a secret of your own. Unfortunately, I do not have a terrible secret on hand. So, return to the Kinetipede. Bronze bells toll as though to mark your departure. Yeah, this whole part of the map, this whole, the Empire, just doesn't seem very... It seems less developed than other places that we've been, right? Maybe that's less true once you have more reputation. It is a little strange so far. Alright, well, I think this is probably an okay place to stop for today. We have a rough direction to go in when we come back next time. And frankly, I'm not 100% sure how we're going to really progress the plot. We can keep working on these little side stories, and hopefully we'll just stumble into some keys or something. But I don't really have a good plan for winning. I feel a little adrift. Come back next time, tomorrow. Wait, no, next time Monday. I don't know when this is going up. Come back next time on Monday, and we'll try to set ourselves in some kind of direction. And we'll see you then.